Welcome back. All right, so 4 games to discuss tonight. If you're looking for a recap of the early morning game from Stockholm, that video is already on the channel. So we had 4 games tonight and some interesting results. So let's go ahead and start things off talking about Columbus and Philly. So for Columbus fans, the misery continues. They're now 9 games without a win. So if it becomes 10, there's another video that'll go up for Columbus. Anyways, Martin versus Ersson in this one. Good back and forth early. The Flyers press at 2 minutes. Good puck pressure by the Flyers. Jiricek has a shot that's held. There's some pushing. And then Farabee buries one on a rush to make it 1-0 Philadelphia at 5:11. Paling and York with the assists. Columbus looks to respond, but the shots on net are 5-1 Philadelphia 6 minutes in. Tippett has a shot kicked aside. There's a power play for the Flyers. They cycle. Jackets cleared out. It's killed off, just the one shot. Jackets press. There's a post for Jenner. Konechny fires one wide. The Jackets rush. And then during a delayed penalty, which is now Columbus's thing, they score during delayed penalties. Texier scores from Corrali and Olivier at 15:02. Flyers press for a response. Corrali's then denied on a rush. And we have a fight between Olivier and Delorier, which rhymes. So it's 1-1 after one. Second period. Jackets had the early jump, but they take a penalty in the offensive zone, and Philadelphia makes them pay for it. It's Brink. It's a face-off win, and it's basically in seconds. Walker and Farabee with the assists at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Jackets press at 3 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Ersson. There's a power play by Columbus, and then it looked like there was a shorthanded goal, or was there? So another long review to see whether or not the puck was in. And yes, the puck was in. It crossed the line. Paling with the shorthanded goal from Hathaway and Sean Walker at 6:41. And then the Flyers, most importantly, finished the kill. Not crying, just got a cold, and now the watery eyes portion of the programming has begun. It's always fun. Things get pushy on an Ersson hold after. Brink fires one wide on a rush. Things get punchy along the boards. Flyers come out of that with a power play. Lawton has a one-timer that's held. Bean get on a shot block. He looked like he was hobbled there. Power play's killed off. Pretty sure Jake Bean stayed in the game. Konechny has a net feed that's picked off. Paling's denied as the Flyers press. And then Jenner buries one in close to make it 3-2. Provorov and Goudreau with the assists at 17:57. And then with 1:58 left, Columbus gets a power play. Importantly, Philadelphia kills that off. The power play for Columbus is an issue. So it's 3-2 Philadelphia going into the third. Early in the third, every whistle, it seemed there was pushing and shoving going on, so I figured I'd throw that in there first. They also announced Damon Severson, who got hurt, would not return for Columbus. When it rains, it pours, right? Delorier has a shot that's blocked. There's a power play for the Blue Jackets. There's a near miss for Marchenko. That power play's killed off. Fantilli has a slot shot that's saved as Columbus presses. The shots are 4-0 Columbus at 9.5 minutes, but Konechny roofs one during a line change by Columbus. From Belpedio at 12:40. I think that was only the second shot of the period for Philadelphia, too. Danforth fires one high on a breakaway. Columbus draws a power play. That's killed off. 3:33 left. The Flyers with a power play. That becomes 1 minute and 34 seconds of 4-on-4. The goalie pull, timeout before the 4-on-4 is called. And then during that 4-on-4 with the goalie pulled, York scores from Paling into the empty net at 17:34. Your final score is 5-2 for the Flyers. They go to 10-7-1. Columbus drops to 4-11-4. So it's just a nightmare season for Columbus. Shots on net, 11-9 Philly in the first, 11-7 Philly in the second, 6-4 Columbus in the third. Final shots 26-22 for Philadelphia. Power plays Columbus 0-for-5. Philadelphia 1-for-4. The hits 20-12 Columbus. Martin saves 21 out of 25. Ersson saves 20 out of 22. So, entertaining game unless you're a Columbus fan, in which case it just seems to keep getting worse. All right, next up, Vegas and Pittsburgh in what might have been the surprise of the night. We have Hill versus Nedeljkovic. Vegas presses a minute and a half in, but during a net front scramble, Graves gets his first goal with the Penguins. He scores from Zahorna and O'Connor at 2:13. Penguins then press for another. We get a power play for the Penguins. It was dangerous early. They had some really good opportunities. There's a near miss for Rust. They cycle. That power play's killed off. It had 3 shots. Shots are 5-2 Penguins 6 minutes in. Marchessault with a turnover chance. That's held. Fans call one. The referee doesn't. Vegas then gets a power play. They cycle. The Penguins block. They clear. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1. That's defended. That power play is killed off. Penguins press with 7.5 minutes left. Pietrangelo has a rush chance. That's held. 1:54 left. The Penguins get a power play, which leads to some shorthanded chances. First, it's a rush by Stone, and then there's another clear by Vegas after. And then William Karlsson with a shorthanded chance that's actually held. So, or saved, I should say. And then, so it's 1-0 Pittsburgh after the first period. So that penalty's killed off by Vegas. There was only 6 seconds left to start the second. There's an early press by the Penguins. Carrier's denied on a rush. Vegas presses. There's a net feed to Crosby that's blocked. Gensel hits the outside of the net. Probably would have buried that one, but anyways, he hits the outside of the net. Teams exchange rushes. The shots are 4-2 Vegas 7 minutes in. There's a press by Vegas. They're kept to the outside. Eichel with the crossbar and more pressure, but then strong forechecking by Pittsburgh leads to a goal. It's Acciari finally gets that first goal from Nieto at 11:39, and after the game he said that should help his confidence. Good on Noel Acciari. Pettersson has a shot that's held by Hill. There's a near miss for Crosby from the side of the net. There was a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Pressed by Vegas with 3.5 minutes left. The Penguins block. William Karlsson then had a rush chance that's saved. After the second period, it's 2-0 Pittsburgh. Third period, early edge for Vegas. And if you've watched Vegas games, you know that's how it works with the third period. Vegas had the only shot on net at 3.5 minutes, which means there's only one shot the first 3.5 minutes, which works for Pittsburgh. Smith to Malkin, near miss at the net. Penguins press at 5 minutes. Vegas has a 3-on-2 that fizzles. The Penguins rush the other way. Stevenson has a shot that's held. Theodore has a shot that's held as well. Vegas with some momentum, and Nedeljkovic is trying to steal it as Vegas is doing everything they can to get a goal here. Malkin fires one wide on a net drive. Heavy Penguins pressure with 7.5 minutes left. Marchessault fires one wide on a 3-on-2 with 4:05 left. Too many Penguins on the ice, so Vegas to the power play. That leads to a shorthanded net drive by Rust and a poke check by Aiden Hill to prevent that from going in the net, and that power play is killed off. Goalie pull happens with 1:25 left, and Malkin hits the empty net not long after at 18:42. Gensel and Letang with the assists. Your final score is 3-0 for Pittsburgh. They go to 9-8 on the season. There's your Tony the Tiger magnet because Nedeljkovic was great. And Vegas drops to 13-4-2. They've been struggling lately. So shots on net, 13-11 Pittsburgh in the first, 12-10 Vegas in the second, 15-10 Vegas in the third. They do outshoot Pittsburgh 38-33. Power plays, Vegas 0-3, Pittsburgh 0-2. The hits, 18-14 Vegas. Aiden Hill, 30 saves on 32 shots. Nedeljkovic saves all 38 shots. So, shutout for Nedeljkovic. Goaltending's been pretty good for Pittsburgh. And they get back into the win column with that one. All right, next up. I had half a mind to do another video after this, but I think I'm just going to go rest. Anyways, Buffalo and Chicago. So Luukkonen versus Mrazek in this one. Perry has a net drive. That's defended. The Hawks press at 2 minutes. The Sabres press. Benson's denied. And then at 4:53, Dahlin scores. That one's through a screen from the slot. Benson and Mittelstadt with the assist on that one. So Buffalo opens the scoring. Sabres press for another. The shots are 5-2 in favor of the visitors at 7 minutes. Skinner has a shot that's blocked and cleared. Foligno has a turnover chance. That's blocked. Jones is denied as the Hawks press. Much better second half for the Hawks. They were getting a lot of shots. They even up the shots in that second half. Tuck to Skinner gets picked off. The Sabres do press to close it out, and they're up 1-0 after one. Second period, power play for Chicago. Early clear by the Sabres, and it's cleared again. Foligno has a net feed that's held. That power play is killed off. And then, 2 seconds. 2 after the power play ended, Chicago scores. It's Radish from Kurashev and Foligno at 3:28. The Hawks go back to the power play. That's killed off. We get a press by the Hawks after it ends. So the shots are 5-1 for the Hawks at 8.5 minutes. We then get a power play for Buffalo. Early clear by Chicago, but Buffalo would score. It's Skinner. Great pass by Dahlin to set it up. Dahlin and Peterka with the assists at 10:55. It is suddenly 2-1 in favor of Buffalo. Hawks press to respond. Bedard gets denied. Sabres go back to the power play. There was a shorthanded fast break for Reese Johnston. He's denied there. That power play is killed off. And then Kurashev, who's been very good since returning from injury, scores from Bedard and Reichel at 17:28. Dickinson then had a turnover chance. That's held. It's 2-2 after 2. Third period. Peterka hits the outside of the net. He was kind of beside himself on that one. Figured he should have scored. Kaiser has a shot deflect wide. The Hawks press. They draw a power play. There's a shorthanded chance for Cousins. That's held. Near miss for Reichel. The Sabres clear. It's killed off, and the Sabres rush the other way. Sabres have a 3-on-2 that fizzles, and then the Hawks rush the other way. There's a press by the Sabres at 8.5 minutes, but they're kept to the outside. And then from a really sharp angle, Eric Johnson with a nice goal, or Mrazek goes down early. Depends on how you look at it, because he roofs it over Mrazek. Middlestad and Dahlin with the assists at 10:35. That makes it 3-2 for Buffalo. With 8:29 left, the Sabres get a power play, and that really hurt the Hawks' comeback attempts here. That's killed off. The Hawks press are kept to the outside. 2:13 left. The Sabres with an icing. So you pull the goaltender. You call a timeout. You discuss what you're going to do. But the Sabres hold on. It was a heavy press by the Hawks in the final minute. Your final score is 3-2. Buffalo had to win this. I said that in the preview. They're 8-9-1 on the season. For Chicago, 5-11. And I think their next game's against Columbus. Yeah, their next game I'm pretty sure is against. I saw that when, I think it was on that one, they were like, oh, next game's against Chicago. And I was like, oh, Lord, someone has to win. So shots on net in this one, 8 apiece in the first, 12-6 Chicago in the second, 6 each in the third. Final shots, 26-20 for Chicago, who probably will beat Columbus, because probably. Power plays, Buffalo 1 for 3, Chicago 0 for 3. The hits, 12-11 for Buffalo. Luukkonen saves 24-26. Another good start for Luukkonen. Mrazek saved 17 out of 20. And so, yeah, Chicago, it's another loss for them. All right, the last game of the night, St. Louis and Anaheim. St. Louis bounces back. So after two losses by scores of 5-1, they salvaged the trip through California with this game. They're still on the road with the next one, but they're done with California. So it's Hofer versus Gibson. The Blues press at 1.5 minutes. Minchikov then has a screenshot. That's held. Shots are 2-1 for the Blues 5 minutes into this. Killorn's denied from the slot, but Buchnevich has a rush chance. That's saved. The Ducks score, but it's offside. And why is it offside? Because it's Vakanainen. This is the third time in Vakanainen's career that he's gotten his first National Hockey League goal, and none of them have counted. So as much as we talked about Marco Rossi early in the season and how that was happening to him, we really need to get Vakanainen that first goal. I don't know if I have to write Gary Bettman a letter, or if I have to convince Greg Cronin to put him on the first power play unit or put him on the first line, or what you got to do, but he's got to get a goal. And then Neighbors scores from Sundqvist at 9:24 shortly after that. So instead of Anaheim having a lead, they're trailing first. Blues press for another. Killorn has a shot that's held as the Ducks then get some pressure. There's a 4-minute Blues power play. They cycle. The Ducks block. Fowler, heroic. Lots of block shots. Black and blue, I would imagine. And then Krug has a shot that's saved and cleared. They do kill off the 4-minute power play. But the Blues go back to the power play and they score on this one. And it took 12 seconds. So after 4 minutes, they couldn't score. This one, they just got it done early. It's Buchnevich from Kyrou at 16:33. Then with 3:08 left, the Ducks get a power play. Vetrano has a blast that's held. We then get 41 seconds of 5-on-3 with a minute and 49 seconds left. That's killed off. There's a little bit of a power play left over to start the second period. That's killed off as well. And then the Blues with some pressure. Killorn has a rush chance. That's held. He doesn't have a goal yet, so he's sitting on, I think they said 198 in his career. Carrick's denied and close. And then at 5:39, St. Louis scores. It's Toropchenko from Falk and Hayes. That makes it 3-0. And it's a spinorama goal on a bouncing puck that helped the Blues there. But to their credit, the Ducks answer. McTavish roofs one in close on a turnover. Killorn with the hard work there on the forecheck to get that puck. And at 8:47, it's 3-1. Blues draw a power play. That's killed off. There's a press by the Blues with 5 minutes left. The Blues are keeping the fans out of this. So even though it was 3-1, you need to have more excitement generated by offense by the Ducks, and there just wasn't very much there. 7-0 record, too, for the Blues when they lead after 2. So not a great thing. Now, of course, the Ducks have had comeback victories, but the problem is eventually defense usually tightens up in the NHL, and those comeback victories get more and more difficult as the year goes along. So third period, Carlson has a net drive. That's defended. Carrick at a net feed. That's held. Things get pushy after that. Blues press at 4.5 minutes. Lacombe breaks up a 2-on-1. Again, I like Jackson Lacombe. I think he's a good young defenseman. Carlson has a rush chance. That's held. There's a power play for St. Louis. That's killed off. And then after that, Lacombe breaks up another 2-on-1 for the Blues. Power play for St. Louis. There's a near miss by McTavish and close. Things get pushy and a hold by Hofer. Shots are 6-2 for the Ducks with 6 minutes left. Vrana has a net feed, that's held. Goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. I don't think the Ducks hit the net the whole time they were 6-on-5. And then with 10.5 seconds left, the Ducks take a penalty, so the Blues finish this game on the power play. The final score is 3-1 St. Louis. They go to 9-7-1 with the win. The Ducks are starting to look like the Ducks. They're 9-9. They're falling off the pace now, and there's definitely an opening there for somebody amongst the teams I was talking about earlier that are below 500 to jump up and maybe grab themselves a playoff spot from Anaheim. We'll see if they can turn it around. Shots on net, 13 apiece in the first, 13-10 St. Louis in the second, 8-5 Anaheim in the third. Both teams had 31 shots in this game. St. Louis 1 for 6 on the power play, Anaheim 0 for 2. Hits 13-6 for Anaheim. Hofer was very good, 30 saves on 31 shots. Gibson was good as well, 28 saves on 31 shots at the other end. But it really does feel like the wheels have kind of come off for the Ducks over the last week and a half. We'll see if they can rate it. But at any rate, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, I'm just gonna go lay down, I think, at this point and just chill for the rest of the evening. But yeah, I may do a panic index tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. But let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you feel like hitting like and subscribe, and if you don't, try it anyways. I won't tell anybody that you did it. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.